If we're going to start off here in the NFL, we got some Week 14 action here. Very first game I'm going to is Dolphins and the Jets. At the end of the day, Jets at home here, fresh off of I would call it an upset win. I was on the Falcons last week, expecting a low-scoring game as well, and none of those came through. It was a Jets outright and an over. Offense showed something. There's still plenty of pieces, and Alan Lazard here. Adonai Mitchell with almost 100 yards receiving, 8 catches, 100 yards last week. I like this Jets team here to bounce back against the Dolphins and get another win. I can't trust Tua in up north December type weather. Refuse to bet Tua here. That's my sentiment. On to the next game. We got Steelers and Ravens here. A really, really good AFC North divisional matchup here. Plenty of division implications, playoff, everything, you name it here. Both teams coming into this one 6-6. At the end of the day, I was on the Bills last week there against the Steelers. Not in love with how Aaron Rodgers has looked. Really not in love with how Lamar Jackson has looked. But I'll go with the guy who's younger, fresher, and I think with the better team around him in the Baltimore Ravens here, -6. I still think they're alive here in the playoff hunt. This gets me on what a lot of people have been saying as well is, it's wide open. Nobody has a clear-cut Super Bowl winner, at least anybody that I know. If you do, let me know because I think it's wide open. I was, thinking an Eagles-Chiefs rematch. Even thinking the Ravens here could get back. There's a legit, I would say 10 teams that legit have a shot at it, and it's all about who plays the best the last couple months of the season here. I think the Ravens are going to start only playing as better and better. Lamar's not going to have to do everything with his legs. I like the Ravens here to get this one done, -6. On to the next game. We have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And in this one here, Buccaneers 8.5-point favorites. They did get it done on the money line at least last week. We were on the Cardinals there plus the 3.5. Got a little backdoor action there, 20-17. Buccaneers won that one. I think this one could be really competitive. I was actually impressed a little bit with what the Saints showed. They kind of got one there with that onside kick at the end of the game that probably shouldn't have gone their way. But they fought tooth and nail to try to win that game there at the end. I think they could at least put up 20 points here on this Buccaneers defense. Tyler Shaw can only keep getting better week in, week out. I like the over 42.5 the most in this game because I also think the Buccaneers will help contribute to this. I think Baker even played pretty solid last week doing considering these circumstances there with his shoulder. I just don't like laying 8.5 here with the Buccaneers, but we'll take the over 42.5 there in Saints Buccaneers. On to the next one, another great divisional matchup here between the Colts and Jaguars. Both teams here 8-4. Jaguars here coming off that big win against the Titans, and then the 3 straight wins since that Texans loss. In that game they were up 2 against the Texans, could have easily won that one. Playing some pretty good ball here the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they've gone to running the football, controlling the time of clock here, time of possession, controlling the clock, if you get my drift. And against a Daniel Jones-led Colts team here who, put up 16 points last week, had Daniel Jones hobbling around on his somewhat fractured leg. I like the under here in this one. I think both teams run it. try not to put the ball in harm's way. Both defenses have been playing well. Obviously, both running games on each side here. ETN, Tootin on the Jaguar side, and then Taylor's almost 1,300 yards this year. Only 12 games in, he may get around 1,800 yards or so, even more this year. I like this game to go under. I see this one being a 27-20. This thing opened at 49.5, so 28-21 is not covered, if I'm being honest. But those are the scores I see this one being, and it's a coin flip price for a reason. So I don't know. You guys have a better guess of picking a side there on that one. Titans and Browns here, the two rookies here going at it. This one is a fun one here, and expecting some weather in this one. Under 30 degrees for sure here in this one, and possible chance of snow. If there is snow, I question the footing here of these players, especially the defensive linemen getting off on the snap. How much of a burst are they going to have? We've seen teams before actually run it up in these snow games. At the end of the day, that's why I like the over. And then add in all of the machismo beef between Ward and Shador. These two guys, it may lead to interceptions and boneheaded play because both these guys may try to do too much here and show each other up. They may not say that's not what's going on, but everybody in the back of their mind knows that these two here, it's a budding rivalry. And not only that, these coaches, they want to see, what they got, especially with Shador, who's still, third week starting here. I expect Stefanski to actually open up the playbook. I felt he was very vanilla last week there. Very, run-heavy approach against this 49ers team. I don't know, maybe saving it here for this matchup, a more winnable game, you could say. But I don't know. This is the NFL where week in, week out, I do believe these teams are trying to win, but not with that game plan. And then, I believe Cam Ward is the type of quarterback that can handle this Browns pass rush with his pocket presence. I can go on and on about these two quarterbacks. Also, both of them big enough arms to handle these inclement weather. Do they know where the ball is going all the time? No, but do they have strong arms? Absolutely. Again, just sit here and cheer on some points in this one. I'm on the over 33.5. It might be at 34 now. We're on the over here in Titans-Browns. A very fun matchup this weekend. Next game here, we got the Commanders and the Vikings. Commanders here, basically the short price dog. Played very well against Denver there on that primetime game. That was one there we were on Denver minus the 5.5 and had it. We'll get into Denver later on. But I think the Commanders can do something similar of what they did last week. Deebo Samuel making an impact finally. The defense, hung in there. They did what they could to at least keep them in that game. And Vikings are just a mess right now, quarterback-wise. I don't want anything to do with the Vikings. I'm all over the Commanders here on this one. I just simply think the wrong team's favored. Maybe if McCarthy's coming back, but and I'm hearing he is, but I don't think even if he's in, I'm still looking to fade. So I like the Commanders here. Seahawks here and Falcons in the next one. This one here, Falcons kind of burned me last week there against the Jets. Just trusted in Kirk Cousins to be a veteran in that game. It was supposed to be a bad weather game. It wasn't as bad as, everybody was saying. At the end of the day, I still think we see points like we saw last week. We know Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, everybody on this Seahawks team, they've been putting up points. They've been playing well. The defense has been causing turnovers and running back, interceptions and fumbles for touchdowns. I like the over in this one instead of trying to choose a side as well. Give me the over in Seattle and Atlanta. Plenty of ways I see points being scored. Even Kirk Cousins playing from behind. I like that going over there in nice conditions. Oh, right there he is. We got DeAndre here finally in the chat. I know he was probably on Boston, huh? That was the I'm broke even today. That would have been nice. Would have been in the green. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Look ahead show. Yeah, yep. Look ahead show. You already know, guys. He said play of the day was Boston with his little green heart. Oh, I'll get into the Knicks later on here because we got that in one of the NBA games that I'll be touching on. Let me get back here to this one. Trying to get back to these NFL games. Give me 1 second. These banners are not my friend. All right. We just talked about Seahawks, Falcons, and that one going over. Back on track here. We're on the Bengals and Bills. Let's check out real quick. Perfect spot for Knicks tonight. Oh, man. He's already stealing my script. DeAndre, that's the problem. He's stealing my script. You'll see when we get to it. You'll see when we get to it. All right, here in this one, though, back to the NFL. We got Bengals and Bills. This one I'm expecting points as well. Joe Burrow looked awesome last week against the Ravens, and this Bengals offense looked good. Do I trust this Bengals defense, though? Of course not. And I know the Bills can put up points here. Bills actually played a little bit of better defense last week against the Steelers, but how much is that the Steelers really ineptitude offense? I like the over here in this one between, come on, Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, and we're not going to think about taking an over 52.5. I don't care if it's a possible cold game and whatnot. Bengals defense not built for that. I don't know. They do play in Cincinnati. Don't get me wrong. I can't see them playing well here. Give me the over 52.5 in Cincinnati and Buffalo. Right. We'll go check out the comments here. I like the Bengals, though. Yeah, DeAndre saying here, perfect spot for Knicks. Look ahead show. I like the Bengals, though. Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen. Joe would let these boys know who he is. I think that's the LSU coming out. The LSU Louisiana coming out. But no, yeah, Joe's always going to put some points on the board. I'm rolling with oh, literally same time. He probably typed it. I said it. But, yep, pretty much. It's been a cash cow a little bit, at least when he's in, if he can ever play. All right, here, back to it. Yes, like the over. Why not? And now next game, it was Denver here versus the Raiders. I don't know. At the end of the day, I can't trust the Raiders to score anything here against this Broncos defense. And we actually have, in some pretty solid dome conditions here in Allegiant Stadium. Yeah, I think Bo Nix can have himself a day against this Raiders team that's probably, packed it in, season over. We're laying the 7 and a hook. That's how confident I am in the Broncos bouncing back. They burned us there. What do you call it? In that primetime game against the Commanders. And I think they get us our get back here against the Broncos, against the Raiders. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see the defense playing like that 2 weeks in a row as well. A nice bounce back spot for them. Geno Smith, let's go under. And that's why I like, 23-10 final. Bo Nix plays his little check down rollout offense. They managed to get maybe a short field or two. And, they cover the 7 and a hook, 23-10. Total there, and that one's 40.5. That gets you the under. This one here, Possibly another under, right? Packers, Bears, two teams I think that are going to try to run the heck out of the ball. Again, this one in Lambeau, December. Don't know what conditions you'll get here. I'm expecting just a cold one, windy as well. I think both of these defenses have played really well this year, especially Green Bay. Parsons has smooth transition right on into this Green Bay defense. 13 sacks this year. I like the under 44.5 in this one. Tough game to pick on a side. I've been rolling with these Bears. They got us paid there against the Eagles. Can't blame anybody wanting to rock with them here, but I think this one's a defensive slobber knocker. Under 44.5 in Chicago versus Green Bay. Next up, we have the Rams and Cardinals. Cardinals here, 7.5-point dogs. I'm seeing 8.5s now against the Rams. Rams monkey wrenched us there against the Panthers. Stafford did not play well, turned the ball over a couple times. He was talking about he expects better of himself. He's going to step up this week. We'll see. I think there's still a very flat, lackadaisical locker room when you're rolling the way the Rams have been rolling this year. Maybe the Panthers game still hasn't woken them up. I already backed the Cardinals last week. They covered me. They're backdoor style plus 3.5 against the Buccaneers. I think they could do the same thing, if not be in this game to possibly win it here and upset their divisional rival. Yes, I like this Cardinals plus 7.5. A Buda Baker interception. I'll keep hammering that because that guy is a hawk back there in the secondary. And yes, plenty of weapons still for Brissett to work with here with Arizona. Give me the Cardinals plus 7.5. On to the next one. We got Texans and Chiefs. Absolute barn burner here in this one. I've been burning my bankroll here with the Chiefs. Let's see any comments here about this one. Any college basketball games? Oh, yeah, we'll be getting into some college basketball games here at the end of the show. It was a hit or miss day. For me. Duke didn't get it done for me. That was ugly. Michigan State was nice. UConn was nice. But, yeah, there's, hit or miss. Sometimes you sweep the board. Sometimes you go like 50-50. Sometimes it's ugly. That's just the way it is, guys. You know this. What do you call it? Texans, Chiefs. This one here, super pumped. Really obvious who I'm going with. I was already saying I've been burning his bankroll with them, but if they're going to stay alive, they're going to have to win every game, and I'll just be on them. If I feel like they have the talent in that locker room to win every game and go on a historical run, well, then I'll back them. I'm on the Chiefs minus 3.5. Egg on my face each week. Oh, well. I'll go down with the Gipper that got me here. Give me the Chiefs minus 3.5. A defensive game. McDuffie did not play well. McDuffie did not play well in this game last week against Dallas. He hasn't played well really in spots all season. Aging defense. Chris Jones only getting older. Worrisome. I still like these linebackers on this Chiefs team. That'll keep them in these games. The total at 41.5 makes sense. I expect this Texans D-line to be in Mahomes' face. But I got to go here with the Chiefs minus the 3.5. Final game, we touched on the NFL.